कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are reading from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, and today we shall take up the 24th chapter, which is Indra Yagya Nivaran. Very interesting chapter because Sri Krishna is so young, but he will tell his father and other elders that you all do such elaborate worship of Indra, but then is that in accordance with the the injunctions, and is that the right method? He will question. So Indra is a devata. He is under Maya like us, but there is a difference. He is the king of all the devatas in the Devlok, and we are ordinary mortals. So how does one become Indra? One becomes Indra by performing pious activities. Charity, kindness, feeding people, and no sinful activities. That means sattvic karma. However, that sattvic karma is bereft of devotion. So there are those who perform rajasic karma, tamasic karma predominantly, and there are those who perform sattvic karma predominantly. So the sattvic karma is recognized and we are given the rewards, but because the actions are only performed for the material considerations, one is not performing for the bliss of the Lord. That is not counted as devotion. And then there is the action and reaction formula. That is why they say as long as we are performing acts which are without bhakti, the divine is an umpire, nyayakarta. They will give rewards as per our actions. So the action for good work is heaven, and action for bad work is hell. Action for work in between the two is human birth. All three are in the realm of Maya, so we remain entangled under Maya. When we perform actions which are in devotion, then the same God who was Nyayakarta, the justice dispenser, he becomes Kripa Karta. He graces the soul. And then that grace is such that the bondage of that soul in the material world is eliminated. He crosses the material realm and he goes into the divine realm, which is only full of bliss. There is no death, there is no disease, there is no old age, There are no negative elements in that realm, and that is why that is the state of God realization, when the soul achieves its perfection. So that is the highest state, but those of us who are in the process, we can feel the growth, we can feel the progress we have made, we can feel the negativities we have eliminated, and we can gauge our progress if we are genuinely measuring it. But then we have not been able to completely eliminate the Maya. So let us discover all these in our quest of learning Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. So we went through the episode of Yagya Patniyo Par Kripa, how Sri Krishna graced the wives of the Gyanis and the Yogis who performed the yajnas, but they were not recognizing that Sri Krishna is God, Sri Balramji is God, and they were worshipping the Brahma form. And even though the friends of Sri Krishna have approached them that please give food, they have missed the bus. But the wives of those yogis, they were devotees. They poured their hearts out. They brought so much of sumptuous food for Sri Krishna and Balram and all the friends. And how Sri Krishna graced them was the story of the last session. Before that, we learned about the stealing of the garments. We learned about the Venu Geet, the flute played by Sri Krishna. Before that, we were given the picture of the rainy season and the winter season, and so on and so forth, starting from the birth of Sri Krishna and the reason for his descension. All these fascinating stories we have covered in 23 sessions, and today is the 24th chapter, and 66 more chapters to come in the ninth canto, in the 10th canto, and then we will have two more cantos to cover, canto 11 and canto 12. So let's begin the session, but before that we will sing a bhajan and all of you can participate. Radhe Radhe. So
I'll
Vijay
read the
Bhaiya,
meaning.
if you would like to
Yes.
read the English translation.
That fortunate aspirant tests the bliss of divine love who keeps his or her desire in the desire of the beloved. One who doesn't relish the practices of rites and rituals and who is not interested in the practice of the Gyan Yoga philosophy. Such a person who stays away from the practice of Ashtanga Yoga path tests the bliss of divine love. One who considers the celestial abodes to be avoidable as hell, and one who considers liberation to be deadly, which destroys any chance of experiencing divine love. Such a person who never nurtures the desire to have myself powers or worldly opulence tests the bliss of divine love. One who adores Sri Krishna as his divine beloved with the sweet sentiment of conjugal love, in which the other four sentiments of devotion are naturally included. Such a person who abandons his or her personal happiness for the sake of beloved happiness tests the bliss of the divine love. One whose mind is attached only to God and his saints and not anywhere in the world. Says Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, such a person who keeps merciful Sri Krishna alone in the heart will experience the bliss of the divine love. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So this is a very amazing composition of Sri Maharaj Ji, which talks about what is the prem ras and how one gets to achieve that. Jo piya ruchi mah ruchi rakhe prem ras चाखे रे। जो पिय रुचि महरुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जेहि कर्म नने कहु भावे रे। जेहि ज्ञान हूँ नाहि सुहावे रे। जेहि कर्म नने कहु भावे रे। जेहि ज्ञान हूँ नाहि सुहावे रे। जो योग दूरी करि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो योग दूरी करि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो पिय रुचि महरुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो स्वर्ग नरक सम जाने रे। जो मुक्ति पिशाचिनी माने रे। जो स्वर्ग नरक सम जाने रे। जो मुक्ति पिशाचिनी माने रे। नहीं रिद्धि सिद्धि उर राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। नहीं रिद्धि सिद्धि उर राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो पिय रुचि रुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे। या मैं चारी हूँ भाव समावे रे। जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे। जो या मैं चारी हूँ भाव समावे रे। जो निज सुख उर नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो निज सुख उर नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो पिय रुचि रुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जेहि हरि हरि जन ही भावे रे, कहु अनत नाटुक मन लावे रे। जेहि हरि हरि जन ही भावे रे, कहु कहु अनत नाटुक मन लावे रे। जो उर कृपालु हरि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो उर कृपालु हरि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। जो पिय रुचि मह रुचि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanandji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And let us now read from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, Canto 11, Chapter 24, which is about Indira's worship stopped. So let me read a couple of slides and then you all can also participate. Sukhdev ji continues, once Krishna observed his cowherd friends and the elders busy in preparations for worship to Indradev. Although knowing the reason for their worship, Krishna as a mortal politely inquired with the elders and Nandaraj, "Oh dear father, what is all this hustle bustle with everybody? What is the occasion? Whom are you going to worship? What is the result of this worship? Who is going to conduct the rituals and with what? Oh father, if it is not a secret, do let me know all if you trust me as your clear, as your dear one." A person performing actions only after a lot of thought is sure to be successful as compared to action being performed without any thought. I am very curious, O Father, whether you have thought about this ritual or you are doing it as per custom. Nandraj replies to Krishna, "O dear son, we are conducting a ritual to worship Indradev, the ruler of the clouds, who, pleased with our worship, then sends forth abundance of rains through the clouds. We use the products got from these rains to worship him. This rainwater is on what we subsist and earn our goal of dharma, earth, and calm. And it is Indra who yields the result of our worship with a bumper crop to the farmer. Any person discontinuing this worship for whatever reason does not achieve good results." So there are so many questions by the young Sri Krishna. You can see in the assembly, Nandaraj Maharaj is seated and Sri Krishna very humbly puts forth this question. And there are so many other residents also present. And we also saw the response from Nandaraj ji. Now let's see what happens in the next slide. Hearing his father's words, Sri Krishna then to enact a Leela with Indradev spoke to his father as a being is born due to its karmas. It experiences pain and joy, fear and security due to its own karmas. And again also dies due to its karmas. Also, if the supreme ruler dispenses fruits only to the doer of actions and not to a non-doer of actions, so then when one's actions are the cause for everything, what role does Indradev has to play there? He cannot guide a being to do or not do an action. Every being in creation, be it human, devatas, or demons, have their own predisposed nature and natural disposition. With the force of karma, a being takes birth in any physical body, so karma may be termed as our friend, enemy. So much of knowledge about the laws of karma, Krishna is sharing and explaining his point. And in the picture, okay, we see baby Shri Krishna and the parents, perhaps. So let's see the next slide. Acharya or Lord. Okay, I think let the uh, participants read, please. Vijayji.
Shall I read, Bhaiya, please?
Go ahead, Didi.
Acharya, O Lord, all beings following their varnashram practice their professions. O Father, we belong to the profession of taking care of the bovine class. Bovine is cows, and calves, and those are meant as bovine. It is the rajasic quality that brings forth progeny to a male and female. And with the same rajasic tendency, the clouds too shower water. And it is with this water that living beings sustain and achieve their goals. What has Indradev got to do with it? We always reside in forests, woodlands, and the mountains, with whom we sustain our living. So it is best that we worship the Brahmins, the cows, and the mountain Govardhan with the same articles that would have been used for Indradev. Let the learned priests, experts in Vedas, conduct yagyas ritualistically to the Govardhan mountain. Let us feed the priests lavishly and gift them cows and generous dakshinas. Food as prasad should always be distributed till the last being present, whether a dog, pariah, or the destitute.
Right. So Sri Krishna has very beautifully explained his points, that which are the agencies which are bestowing them with all the goodies. And he will point out the Brahmins who impart the knowledge, cows who produce milk, and the mountains, which are the source for all the woods and the fruits and the forest. And those are the articles uh, which are required for yajnas and all the other requirements. So, according to Sri Krishna, we should worship Govardhan mountain, and that is the most appropriate. And also, he says, let us feed the priests lavishly and give them cows and generous dakshinas. Food as prasad should always be distributed till the last being present, whether a dog and a pariah, which is an outcast, or the destitute. So let's move on to the next.
After feeding the cows with sufficient grass to their heart's content, let us then offer all the varieties of food, of milk, rice, pulses, sweets to the Govardhan. After this is done, let us all do pradakshina to all, that is Brahmins, cows, and Govardhan. If you are pleased and agreeable, O Father, then let us start this worship which will make the Brahmins, cows, Govardhan, and me too happy. Fully agreeable with Krishna's reasoning, Nandaraj then did exactly as Krishna had instructed. In the end, when Pradakshina was being offered, the cowherds observed Krishna himself as Mount Govardhan now and consuming all the offerings given. Sri Krishna, the cowherd, then offering his greetings to himself, that is the Govardhan, and exclaimed, "Oh, look, this mountain has taken a personal form to assure us and accepting our offerings. So this mountain, as our protector, can take any form at will and subdue our enemies, protecting us and our cattle. Let us bow before him." Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So we have heard of the Mount Govardhan, which is the famous spot in Barsana. Many of us would have visited, and some of us have also walked. I have not done the pradakshina, but I have walked a bit of the stretch. So look what more we are learning, what additional uh, stories we are learning. Many of us would not have known that Sri Krishna took the form of Govardhan mountain, or rather, Govardhan mountain appeared as Sri Krishna to the residents. So, all these amazing leelas are being enacted, and let's see what happens next. Okay, so there is a verse. Let me just read this. Or Sri Vijay, you want to read this particular slide?
Yes.
Okay.
Iti adrigo dvija makham vasudeva prachoditya yatha vidyaya te gopashaya Krishna vrajam yahu. Translation is, having thus performed with due ceremony the worship of Mount Govardhan, the cows and the brahmanas as particularly directed by Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudev, the said cowherd returned to Braj along with Sri Krishna.
Right. Having thus performed with due ceremony the worship of Mount Govardhan, the cows and the Brahmins, as particularly directed by Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the said cowards returned to Braj along with Sri Krishna. So you can see the mountain which has taken the form of Sri Krishna, or rather, the residents see Sri Krishna in the mountain, and after performing all the rituals, the residents are returning now. Let us move on to slide number 7, or the next slide. Okay, so it's a short episode. So the main texts are over, and now we have the takeaways. So anyone wishes to read the text, the takeaways?
Radhe, may I read the English,
Yes,
please?
please.
Translation: Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar which we are always anxious. Radhe Radhe, thank you.
Radhe Radhe. So we have lots of time today. So all of us should read. This is a very important verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which captures the essence of bhakti. Cheto darpan marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shreyah Kairav Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhujivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purno Amrita Swadanam Sarvat Matsanpanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death, This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. Here is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. So, very important mantra from Chaitanya Charitamrita for us to understand. So, let us all read. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll probably just read that. The Chetu Darpanam Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jeevanam Andam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnam Mritta Swadanam Sarvatma naṣṭa-prāyeṣv Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the ray of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Yeah,
Shall I go ahead, please?
you can go.
Cheto-darpanam bhavamahadavagni-nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jeevanam Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swabat Purna Amrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Thank you, Radhe Radhe. Smita Didi.
Anybody else wants to read the text and translation?
राधे राधे दीदी, मैं ऑन वे टू होम हूँ दीदी, चश्मा भी छूट गया घर पे। आप लोग पढ़े, मैं सुन रही हूँ।
Tell Didi. There are a couple of newcomers, Bhaiya, you can ask them,
Yeah.
please.
So I think Chandani, I see a new devotee joining today. If you cannot unmute yourself and if you want to read the text. Chandani ji, Hital ji.
Hello. Radhe
Radhe
Radhe ji.
Hital. Radhe Hital.
Yes, Radhe Radhe ji. This is my first time I joined this class, and I'm just listening you and try to be with you there, so I can understand properly, and maybe next time I can try.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, we do the session every Saturday, so this is a Sunday, and this is the time. So do join. We'll keep you updated.
Right.
Thank you.
So Chandni ji
Very
says
nice.
she's in the train, so on her way home. So Hema ji has already read. Okay, so all of us have read. So now we will open up the discussion. And what we were mentioning earlier, that Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran is absolutely the highest scripture in the Vedic tradition, and it is a rare privilege to come to know about Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. And it is said the day Bhagavad Mahapuran arrives in someone's house, that is considered as a great grace from the Lord, because many of us are not even aware what Bhagavad Mahapuran is. You tell somebody about Bhagavad Mahapuran, and the first question will be, are you talking about Bhagavad Gita? No, we are talking about Bhagavad Mahapuran. Bhagavad Gita is the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjun. Sri Krishna has rendered the summary of all the Vedic knowledge in 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, which appears in the Mahabharata. Whereas Bhagavad Mahapuran is one of the 18 Puranas, and it is considered the highest amongst the Puranas. In fact, in the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Mahapuran is considered the highest literature. And why? Because the way to attain God is bhakti, devotion. Only through the process of surrender and process of devotion we can attain God. And Bhagavad Mahapuran talks about bhakti and bhakti alone. So we have shared in this class the first 3 verses of Bhagavad Mahapuran, which appears in the Canto 1, which says, Janmadiyasya yato anvaya vitarata sacharthe avishwagya swarat tene brahma hridaya adi kavye muhyanti yat suryah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimiyo yatra tri sargom risha dhamna svena sada nirast kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. So in the very first canto, first chapter, first shlok, what does Bhagavad say? That entity which is the cause of all causes, which creates this universe, which sustains this universe, and which dissolves this universe at one particular time, that entity which has this material energy called Maya, which completely deludes us, makes us forget the reality that we are the soul and not the body, and it is the supreme entity which sustains this universe. That entity is the absolute truth. So Bhagavad does not begin by saying that that entity is Krishna or Ganesh or Ram or Shiv or Durga or Surya. It says the absolute truth. That means Bhagavad is available for all. So once that entity is referred as the absolute truth, Param Satya, then depending on our faith, we can call that absolute truth as Allah or God or Krishna or Ram or Durga or Ganesh, depending on our tradition and practice. So that is the beautiful point in the first shlok. And the second shlok says, Dharma projit kaitovatra parmo nirmat saranam satam Vedyam Vastav Yatra Atra Shivadam Tapatrayo Unmulanam. The second shlok is equally fascinating. It says that this Bhagavad Mahapuran does not have any contamination of the material quest. Like we call that material quest as Purusharth. So every one of us is looking for material comforts, which is earth, the finance, and we want to fulfill our material desires, that is calm, and we want to practice the dharmic rules and rituals, that is dharma. So dharma, earth, calm, and also the moksha. At the end we want to get liberated, but that is not devotion, because here the consideration is our own welfare. But when we surrender to that supreme entity, and whatever we do as a service to that entity, then our own welfare automatically takes place. But we are not hankering after our own welfare. We are only concerned with the service to the Lord. So the concept changes, and this is called bhakti. So Bhagavad Mahapuran is only about bhakti. There is no contamination of dharma, arth, kam, moksha. So that is why it is called dharma projit kaitab. And the third shlok in the first canto is about how sweet the Bhagavad Mahapuran is. So it says, Nigam kalpataror galitam phalam suk mukhad amrit drava sanjutam pibat bhagavatam rasamalayam muhur ho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. And this Bhagavad Mahapuran, how sweet it is. It is so sweet that it cannot be described in words. It is compared to a fruit which is tasted by the parrot. And which parrot? The parrot in the form of Shukdev ji. Shukdev ji Maharaj is the great devotee of Radharani. And if he takes the form of a parrot and tastes the fruit, that is how it is compared. Because if you have an orchard of mango, and if that mango is tasted by the parrot, that is considered to be the tastiest mango. But that mango will have a gutli, a seed. It will have chilka, the skin, and it will have resha, the fiber. But this fruit of the Bhagavad Mahapuran is without seed, without skin, and without fiber. It is only rasa and rasa. That is why Pibat Bhagavatam Rasmalayam. So its sweetness is nectarine. It cannot be compared to anything at all. And all the devotees who have understood the ultimate reality of devotion, they are always eager and consuming this rasa till their last breath. That is what the last sloka says. And it is like the kalpa vriksh, the desire fulfilling tree from the Vedic literature. So how much to say about Bhagavad Mahapuran? It is just a short glimpse, but now we have about 10 minutes or so. So let's now open up and invite any discussions and any feedback, any addition to what we are discussing. So over to Sri Vijay.
Thank you so much. We are again as always, this was a very nice session. So much of information, and the way you kind of do all the revision of what we have studied so far, and pick up the important wisdoms, which helps us in reviving what we have learned, or what we should do on daily basis. So thank you so much again for that. And I really like that part where Shri Krishna is talking about karma. Like karma is basically responsible for everything happening to us happening to us on daily basis and each and every moment. So that's something very strong, and that was so much informative for me. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
With that, yeah.
Sorry.
Good, Larry. Anybody else, if you want to share or what you have learned or experience, you can unmute and you can share.
Rajesh Bhaiya, the main thing is amount of time you must spend on the preparation and getting it to the, because Bhagavatam is so immense in the knowledge and things, but you bring it down to our level and present it and project it in such a fine way that even, us mortals can understand and absorb what you're saying. So I'm so grateful for that you do keep doing daily, week after week after week after week after week. Thank you very much. And again, a wonderful session, beautiful Sankirtan. And of course, the content as ever is amazing. Thank you, Bhaiya. Radhe Radhe. And Vijay Bhaiya, you've done a great job with the slides. And Yatin Bhaiya also equally does such a great job with the slides. It makes it even more pertinent for all of us. Thank you.
राधे राधे भैया।
Hemant.
भागवतम लिखा भले हो वेद व्यास जी ने, और हमारे गुरु जी ने इसको बहुत ही विस्तार से लोगों के बीच सुनाया, बताया, समझाया और पहुंचाया है। और उसमें से आप एक हो भैया, और लेकिन हम तक तो आप ही ने पहुंचाया, क्योंकि आप एक माध्यम बने। और ये भागवतम इतनी सुगमता से जो भी हम श्रोतागण हैं आज पहुंच रहा है, वो आपकी बदौलत पहुंच रहा है। और सच कहो तो अब ये माँ की लोरी का काम करता है। रात में सोने से पहले एक बार ये रिकॉर्डिंग हम जरूर सुनते हैं, और इतना अच्छा लगता है, इतनी सुखद मतलब दिन का अंत होता है कि मैं कुछ वर्णन नहीं कर सकती। और जो बीच में आपने भजन हर बार जब ये सेशन शुरू होता है, जो आप भजन गाते हैं, वो भी बहुत गहराई से भरा हुआ और दिल तक पहुंचने वाला होता है। बहुत ही सुंदर। सभी लोगों का बहुत ही बड़ा योगदान है इसमें। इस भागवतम जैसे क्लिष्ट चीज को हम लोगों तक इतनी आसानी से, इतने सरलता से पहुंचाने के लिए अगर थोड़ा सा भी हम अपने जीवन में सुधार कर पाते हैं, तो पूरा श्रेय इस पूरी भागवतम टीम को जाता है। राधे राधे।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. As usual, such beautiful words from you. It's very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Hemant Didi, like, you want-
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya, Radhe Radhe everyone. It's so wonderful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the Bhakti Yoga movement, because it's only through Bhakti that we can get out of this Kali Yuga. Hopefully we can get out of this Kali Yuga depending on our strength of Bhakti and devotion, and also get Krishna's grace. This morning I was doing a little bit of research on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I came across to something called the Shiksha.
Stuck.
Shishtastakam.
Yes, that's it. The 8 devotional prayers. Can you enlighten us on that, please?
Yeah, so if I recall, this is one of them. So another one which is very famous is Trinadapi Shunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanaya Sadahari. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered the avatar of Sri Krishna, who appeared in West Bengal 500 years back, and his leelas are so amazing. He was in the sannyasi form, and he had the boundaries of sannyas ashram, and he had those restrictions in mingling with the devotees. That is why he had assured that I will appear again in another 500 years. And what we have heard, that Sri Maharaji is also the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who fulfilled that prophecy. And Sri Maharaji freely mingled with the devotees. That's why there are so many preachers. So during his time, Sri Chaitanya wrote lots of literature, but one of his disciples had also written a big compendium of his teachings. And when he came to know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has written that book, he became very much kind of sad, because who is going to read his book? So Sri Krishna consigned his book into the Ganga. So that is why there are not many, the written literature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is available is the Siksha-ashtak, the 8 mantras which he wrote. One of them is Cheto Darpan Marjanam Bhava Mahan. If I recall correctly, it is from the Siksha-ashtak, and the other one which I just said, Trinadapi Shunichena, that how one has to be. So one has to be as humble as the blade of a grass, and as tolerant as the tree. And one should honor everyone and not care for one's own honor. This is the teaching. And that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says is the ABC of devotion. If we don't have this quality, we can never reach the progress in bhakti. So all of us have to attempt to become as humble as the blade of grass, as tolerant as tree, and we have to honor everyone and not to care about our own honor. So this is one of those 8 teachings, Siksha Ashtak. So you can read Siksha Ashtak in internet. It will be available to know more about Siksha Ashtak and also about Chaitanya Charitamrita, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So
Thank you so much, Bhaiya. Thank you. I
thank you.
will do that.
Right.
Could I just
And
add that Maharajji has been emphasizing again and again about this Trinadapi Sunichena Shlok. Very much so. He also says that's the start. Before we start anything, that's what we need to be achieving or attempting to achieve. Thank you, Bhaiya. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you very much. So just to fill in the last couple of minutes, I came across one very beautiful song about Guru. That who is Guru? So सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं. So Guru is so important that the Lord says if you come across both Guru and God, first worship the Guru, because through Guru only you have come to know God. Uh, so the doha is Guru Govind dono mile काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपको गोविंद दियो बताए. So that is what we have to learn. Just give me 1 second.
That mantra says if God and Guru are standing in front of you, then you have to worship the Guru first, because Guru is the one who has given you all the knowledge. Is that correct, Bhaiya?
Yes. So that was, and the song which I wanted to sing is सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं. सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं. वेद का सार समझा दे उलझने सारी सुलझा दे. वेद का सार समझा दे उलझने सारी सुलझा दे. हरि का प्रेम जो दे उसे गुरुदेव कहते हैं. हरि का प्रेम जो दे उसे गुरुदेव कहते हैं. सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं. जो गंदे मन को धोबी दे, जो गंदे मन को भी धो दे, भाव श्रृंगार जो कर दे, भाव श्रृंगार जो कर दे, हरि की गोद में दे दे, हरि की गोद में दे दे, उन्हें गुरुदेव कहते हैं। सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई, सुनो सब ज्ञान से भाई, गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं, गुरु महिमा सुनाते हैं. That is a little sentiments about the importance of Guru, the glories of Guru, and whatever we are sharing, we have to bow our head into the lotus feet of Sri Maharaj Ji, who has enabled us to make an attempt to learn this most transcendental knowledge. So we are almost at the end of 1 hour. So let us conclude. I will hand over to Sri Vijay.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining today. And for the new joinees like Chandani ji and Hital ji, I've shared the links. You can join the chat group if you are not in, and you can follow all the the timings and for other sessions. And we also, as we have a channel on the YouTube, so please follow that too, and try to join every Sunday. We'll keep you posted, and we'll share all the recordings also after the session. Thank you so much. So with that, like, we can conclude. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar
Ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Srimad Yugal
Yugal
Sarkar.
Sarkar
ki jai.
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Ram.
Radhe.
Jai
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 Shri
Shri Radhe.
Jai
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 Shri
Shri
Radhe.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe.